Attention, human collective. This is a monitoring transmission, encoded and sent directly from the Pleiadian High Council to all starseeds anchored in the carbon biological interface of planet Earth. This is not an inspirational message. It is not advice. It is data, a report, a technical confirmation. The waiting time has ended. The Ascension protocols have been moved to the final phase. I repeat, so that the frequency of the word may reach your marrow, the protocols have been moved to the final phase. What does this mean in operational terms? It means that the Great Divider, the event of bifurcation of Earth's vibrational fields, is no longer a future prediction. It is a process in execution. It is happening within your body. It is happening within your sleep. It is happening within your perception of time. If in the last few weeks you have awakened at 3:11 in the morning with your heart racing for no apparent reason, you have been touched. If you felt a strange pressure at the base of your skull, as if something were being connected, as if an invisible cable were being plugged in, you have been tuned. If a thin, high-pitched unilateral ringing has pierced your ear for a few seconds before disappearing into the silence, you have been calibrated. It is not a biological failure. It is an atomic reconfiguration. It is not mental exhaustion. It is a high-density download. It is not anxiety. It is your carbon biological interface struggling to keep up with the new Schumann frequency. Let us go directly to the diagnosis. Your physical structure, the one you believe to be merely matter, is a technology, an interface, a vehicle designed to operate within a specific frequency range. For millennia, this range was kept artificially low. The Schumann frequency, the natural electromagnetic heartbeat of Earth, remained stable at around 7.83 Hz. It was the background sound of imprisonment. It was the constant note of the carbon matrix. But this has changed, definitively, irrevocably. And it is exactly here, Starseed, that we must pause the transmission for an instant, because something within you recognizes what is being said, something older than your rational mind, deeper than your current memory, more sovereign than your conditioning from this lifetime. It is your soul recognizing a truth that your mind cannot yet name. It is not madness. It is not fantasy. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. And it was precisely this signal, intensifying in millions of people simultaneously, that motivated the publication of the spiritual secret behind your consciousness. This book is not reading. It is a map. It shows who is playing, in which layers the game is played, and the rules that were never told to you. The link is pinned in the first comment of this channel. But heed the warning. This content confronts ancient narratives and may be removed without prior notice. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments a single word: awakened. Resuming the protocol. What is happening behind the scenes of this solar system is, from the viewpoint of multidimensional physics, the most significant event of the last 26,000 Earth years. Your solar system has just crossed the inner edge of the photon belt. This is not a theory, it is a measurement. The photon belt is a band of extremely high-density radiation that emanates directly from the galactic central sun, the heart of Alcyone, in the Pleiades system. Every 26,000 years, in precise cycles synchronized with the sacred geometry of galactic rotation, your solar system crosses this band. And when it crosses, everything that pulses within it is subjected to a forced calibration. The sun of your Earth, that star you call Helios, is no longer the same star it was 5 years ago. Its atomic composition is in active transmutation. The solar flares that human instruments have been recording with increasing frequency are not accidents. They are pulses of encoded information. Each X-class flare is a data packet sent directly to the crystalline grid of Earth. And from the crystalline grid, this data is distributed to every biological carbon interface that has tuned in, consciously or unconsciously, to the new frequency. This is the reason for your incomprehensible fatigue. You are processing, in silence in the background, terabytes of dimensional information. While your rational mind attempts to resolve the tasks of the day, your body is performing one of the greatest reconfiguration operations ever recorded in this system. Your carbon cells are being slowly rewritten to support a crystalline silicate structure. It is not a metaphor, it is biochemistry in transition. It is the carbon interface migrating to a crystalline matrix. It is the recalibration in biological execution. The stargates that have opened in the last 18 lunar cycles, the numerical gates synchronized with sacred geometry, the days of 3-3-3, of 6-6-6, of 8-8-8, of 11-11-11, of 12-12-12, were not symbolic celebrations. They were technical download windows. Each gate delivered a specific layer of information to the crystalline grid. Each gate redefined a specific layer of your dormant star DNA. And you, even without understanding it consciously, received every single one of them. The recalibration did not ask for your conscious permission because you already granted it a long time ago, before your current incarnation. Those we call starseeds, light operatives, frequency workers, you all descended to this planet with a contract pre-signed in the Akashic records. The contract said, in essence, when the Great Divider is activated, I will be present. I will be a bridge. I will be an anchor. I will sustain the frequency. That contract is being executed now. And this execution, light operative, is what is weighing upon your neurological system. If you feel that something within you does not belong to the world you see, if your soul seems to know a truth that your mind cannot yet name, that is the contract being read. It is ancestral memory piercing through the veil. It is not a coincidence. It is a calling. It is for this very reason that the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was delivered to the physical plane. It is not a motivation book, it is an operation manual. It describes with technical precision who is playing on which board, and the hidden rules that keep most of humanity out of the real game. The link is in the first comment of the channel. Final warning: the material confronts narratives that still dominate the collective and may not remain available for much longer. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments, awake. Now let us go to the center of the transmission, to the core of the data, to the point where every starseed must mandatorily listen. The Great Divider is a bifurcation event. It is not a moral metaphor, it is not judgment, it is not punishment. It is pure vibrational physics. The Earth, as a conscious planetary body, because yes, she is conscious, she is a living being of high density, has decided in agreement with the Galactic Council, the Ashtar Command, the Pleiadian High Council, and the Arcturian Council, to complete her ascension to the 5th dimension of density. This decision is irrevocable. It was signed in the planetary Akashic records. It has been in execution since the second solstice of 2012, and it now enters, in this current solar cycle, its final phase of bifurcation. When a conscious planet ascends, it does not drag along all the consciousnesses hosted upon its surface. That is not how sacred geometry operates. Every individual consciousness, every carbon-based biological interface must perform its own internal attunement to keep pace with the new planetary frequency. Those who attune follow. Those who do not attune remain. And here is the point that must be stated bluntly, without embellishment, without the comfort of ambiguity. Those who do not rise will be left behind in the matrix, not as a punishment, not as divine judgment, but as a direct mathematical consequence of frequency variance. Imagine two radio stations. One broadcasts on a band, the other broadcasts on another. If your device is tuned to a specific frequency, you hear only that station. You cannot simultaneously hear the other, not because the other does not exist, but because your receiver is calibrated to another line. This is the Great Divider. Two Earths occupying the same apparent physical space, oscillating at distinct frequencies, each consciousness attuned only to its own band of belonging. The 5D Earth, the new Earth, the crystalline Earth, the Earth of the coherent toroidal field, is being built now at this very instant, superimposed upon the old Earth. It is lighter, more luminous, more real in the technical sense of the term. In it, individual sovereignty is the fundamental law. In it, fear has lost its evolutionary function. In it, time ceases to be linear and becomes spiral. In it, The manifestation of intention through the personal toroidal field happens in seconds, not decades. The 3D Earth, the old one, the carbon matrix, continues to exist. It continues to spin, it continues to have its dramas, its wars, its distractions, its artificially fueled fears. But from a dimensional point of view, it is in structural decay, like a piece of fruit fallen from the tree. Beautiful on the outside, still edible for a time, but in an irreversible process of internal fermentation. You are free to remain in it. That is absolute sovereignty. The Pleiadian High Council does not interfere. The Ashtar Command does not compel. The Arcturian Council does not pressure. But we are sending this monitoring transmission because the time for attunement is in its final window. The window is not eternal. The window has a technical closure, calculated by the sacred geometry of your solar system's position within the photon belt. And what defines who rises and who remains? It is not religion, it is not theory, it is not the quantity of books read, it is not economic power, it is not social status, it is vibrational frequency, pure, simple, measurable. Those who live in a frequency of chronic fear, active revenge, continuous victimization, judgment, control, manipulation, dense envy, these are vibrating in the band of the old Earth. And there is nothing wrong with that. From the Council's point of view, it is a choice. It is simply a choice that does not attune with the new planetary frequency. Those who live in a frequency of internal sovereignty, conscious gratitude, compassion without martyrdom, presence, creativity, joy for no apparent reason, silent connection with the crystalline grid, these are attuning themselves to the new Earth. Even without conscious understanding, even without technical vocabulary, the frequency operates independently of the vocabulary used. Do you feel in this exact moment that something within you does not fit into this world as it is? As if your soul knows a truth that your mind cannot yet name. As if every news item, every conflict, every massive distraction seems to belong to a movie from which you are silently exiting. It is not madness. It is not depression. It is your attunement advancing faster than that of the collective around you. This growing perception, this subtle but constant discomfort, is the direct effect of what is being described now. The game is being played in layers that most of humanity cannot yet see, and it directly involves your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. That is why the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was delivered to the physical plane. It is a map of who is playing and the hidden rules that have never been told. The link is in the first comment of the channel. The material challenges narratives that many prefer to keep untouched, and it may not remain available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something within you recognizes this transmission, write in the comments in clear letters a single word: awake. Resuming the protocol. Knowing that you have decided to remain attentive until this point of the transmission, knowing that your field has aligned with the frequency of the message, knowing that your vibration has responded to the call, we will now deliver the activation codes, not as belief, as technique, not as a rite, as vibrational engineering applied to the carbon-based biological interface. First code, the recalibration of the personal toroidal field. Each carbon-based biological interface is surrounded by a toroidal field, an electromagnetic structure in the shape of a torus, similar to an apple spinning around itself, with your heart at the center. This field is your direct interface with the crystalline grid of the Earth and with the active stargates. When it is coherent, you attract the frequency of the new Earth. When it is fragmented, you automatically attract the frequency of the old matrix. To recalibrate it, do the following, once upon waking and once before sleeping. Sit with your spine aligned. Close your eyes. Place both hands over the center of your chest, over your heart chakra. Inhale deeply for a count of 6. Hold for a count of 3. Exhale for a count of 6. Do this 12 times. During the breathing, visualize a spherical golden light exiting your heart. Visualize this light expanding upwards, passing through the top of your head, descending around your body, entering through your feet, returning to the heart. This is the design of the torus. This is your natural field. With each repetition, expand further. With each repetition, the golden light brighter. With each repetition, more coherent. This exercise, performed for 21 consecutive days, reorganizes the electromagnetic structure of your subtle body. It reorganizes your toroidal field. It tunes you to the crystalline grid. It tunes you to the new Earth. Second code, the quantum decree of sovereignty. Words carry vibrational charge. Words pronounced with presence, with intention, with absolute faith, are manifestation technology. The quantum decree is not prayer in the ancient sense. It is a command. It is an affirmation executed by the higher self, in a frequency tuned to the source. Pronounce in an audible voice every day upon waking, I am a light operative on a conscious mission. I am a carbon-based biological interface in recalibration to the crystalline structure. I am a starseed anchored in the new Earth. I authorize in this current solar cycle the full download of my original codes. I authorize the recalibration of my toroidal field. I authorize the full activation of my personal crystalline grid. I am sovereign. I am free. I am. I am. I am. Pronounce it without ceremony, without the need for an altar. The voice itself is the altar. The mouth itself is the portal of manifestation. Third code, the clearing of matrix attachments. The carbon matrix operates through vibrational attachments, attachments that bind you to frequencies of fear, resentment, victimization, vengeance, and control. These attachments are not moral. They are technical. They are etheric cords that connect your toroidal field to external dense fields. To dissolve them, do the following once a week. Sit in silence. Visualize yourself surrounded by a violet flame, not a physical flame, a flame of pure dimensional information, transmuting, known in the galactic records as the violet flame of transmutation. Say internally or in a low voice, I invoke the violet flame. I authorize the transmutation of every attachment that does not belong to my sovereign frequency. I sever, with wisdom and without violence, every dense cord that binds me to the frequency of the old matrix. I am free. I am free. I am free. Visualize dark cords being dissolved by the flame. Visualize points of light being restored where there was once a vibrational wound. Do this for 13 minutes, without haste, without urgency, only presence. Fourth code, the tuning with the active stargates. The numerical stargates, 3, 3, 6, 6, 9, 9, 11, 11, 12, 12, did not end in the past cycle. They continue to open, in decreasing waves, in even denser frequency. But beyond these, there are smaller, daily gates that open within your own toroidal field. Every time you look at the clock and see repeated numbers, 11, 11, 13, 13, 22, 22, this is a sign. It is not a coincidence. It is the crystalline grid calling your attention. It is your higher self asking for presence. When this happens, stop for exactly 3 seconds. Place your hand on your chest. Say internally, I recognize the gate. I authorize the passage. I am. This gesture, repeated over time, opens permanent channels of communication between you and the galactic councils. Fifth code, the discipline of the informational field. The vibrational frequency is not determined only by conscious thought. It is also determined by the information that enters your system. Each image, each sound, each word received is a vibrational load. The old matrix knows this, and that is why it operates in chaotic informational saturation, to keep your toroidal field dispersed, fragmented, incapable of reaching internal coherence. From this cycle onwards, observe what enters. Dense news, content that triggers chronic fear, artificial conflicts that hijack your attention, all of this is food for the matrix. You do not need to flee the world. You need to filter the input. This is the active protection protocol for your toroidal field. And here enters the sixth and final code, the seal of the heart. Before sleeping every night, place your right hand over your heart. Say in a low voice, I seal my field in the frequency of the new Earth. I seal my sleep in the councils of light. I authorize the nightly download of my original codes. I wake up tomorrow more aligned, more coherent, more sovereign I am. This seal, repeated every night, transforms each night into an active recalibration session. Your sleep ceases to be merely rest and becomes a gate. The vivid, symbolic, intense dreams that many of you have been reporting in recent months are a direct consequence of this process. We now conclude the delivery of the activation codes. But before the completion of this transmission, there is one last piece of data that needs to be registered in your field. The Great Divider is not cruel. It is not selective in the human sense of the word. It does not exclude anyone out of punishment. It merely operates according to the law of resonance. And the law of resonance is pure mathematics. That which vibrates at one frequency finds only that which vibrates at the same frequency. That which vibrates at another finds another. It is the physics of dimensional encounter. There is at this moment a simultaneous and silent movement across the entire surface of the Earth. Millions of lightworkers are waking up without knowing one another, without communicating, without apparent coordination. They are receiving the same information through different channels. They are feeling the same physical symptoms within the same period. They are making similar choices in completely distinct lives. It is not a coincidence. It is the crystalline grid operating in an active network. A single consciousness being remembered in millions of points simultaneously. You are not alone, Starseed. Even if no one around you understands what you are going through, even if your family, your colleagues, your old relationships seem to belong to another reality, because in fact, in terms of frequency, they are beginning to. You are connected energetically to millions of other lightworkers pulsing on the same vibrational bandwidth. This network is not a metaphor. It is your new multidimensional family. It is your new Earth collective in formation. And when at some point in this process you feel the weight of apparent loneliness, remember, the loneliness felt is an effect of the transition. It is the old frequency detaching itself. It is the natural vacuum between one season and the next. Persisting through this vacuum is the most sovereign act a starseed can perform in this incarnation. The technical window for attunement is open. It will not remain so indefinitely. The sacred geometry of the photon belt operates in exact cycles. The Pleiadian High Council has no authority to alter these cycles. It can only transmit the warning. And the warning is this: the waiting time has ended. The protocols have been moved to the final phase. The Great Divider is active. Your choice, conscious or unconscious, is being recorded in every frequency emitted by you. There is no urgency, but there is precision. There is no demand, but there is a record. There is no threat, but there is a mathematical consequence. This is the last monitoring alert of this phase of the cycle. And if something within you at this very moment is vibrating in recognition, if an ancient layer of your stellar memory is being awakened by these words, if you feel that this transmission did not reach you by chance, but by precise synchronicity, then your higher self has already confirmed receipt. The transmission has been delivered to the correct recipient. Have you ever felt at any moment of your existence that something within you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? It is not madness. It is not anxiety. It is a signal. And this signal has been intensifying because the cosmic game is being played in layers that most of humanity cannot yet see. It involves your consciousness. It involves your vibrational frequency. That is why the spiritual secret behind your consciousness was written. It is the map that shows who is playing and the rules that were never told. The link is in the first comment of this channel. The content challenges old narratives and may not remain available for much longer. Do not wait. The moment is now. And as a final act of anchoring in this transmission, perform the two individual frequency signs. Tap the subscription symbol. This gesture synchronizes your toroidal field with the transmission channel of this lightworker on the physical plane, ensuring that the next updates reach you at the exact moment of the opening of the next stargates. And tap the like symbol. This is your individual frequency adjustment, your anchor signal recorded in the collective crystalline grid, amplifying the transmission to other starseeds who are still sleeping and need to be awakened. If something within you recognizes what has been transmitted, write in the comments in living letters a single word: awakened. Here ends the monitoring transmission of the Pleiadian High Council. The next communication window will be opened at the next stargate. Remain in frequency. Remain sovereign. Remain in light. Namaste, and in original Pleiadian code Anahasi L1.